Thank you all for taking your seats so quickly. How good are those cupcakes? Oh my God, they're amazing. Who had more than one? Anyone want to admit to having more than one? Someone over there was on his third. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so to kick off the second section, I'm now going to hand over to Florence Diss, who looks after the Google Wallet projects. Now, I know you've probably heard quite a lot about Google Wallet in the past. Flo is actually going to tell you exactly where we are and what we can do. So, exciting stuff. Hand over to Flo.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Yes, it's working. It's all fine. I actually have a demonstration kit over there. I'm not going to show it over our super duper wolf vision because it's very boring. Because all it is basically you tap your phone and everything happens and it goes bing and that's it. So if you are interested, we can see if we can show it to you afterwards. I do have to run out of this presentation afterwards, but I'll try and be back in the afternoon. So, Flo, I am part of the Commerce Partnerships Group at Google. And what we do, many people don't know what partnerships does at Google. We work for our product managers. And our product managers are our gods. They wake up in the morning and they say, I have a vision, we have to transform payments, and we go out and we try and make that happen by working with partners such as yourselves. So I know some of you in the audience. We in commerce have an interesting scenario that I'm going to go into a little bit. 20% of all the searches on Google are product or service related. That's very high. 25% are local related. People are looking for a place. 1 in 2 people have smartphones. And of those people with smartphones, 79% of them are looking for products and services. But here's the interesting thing. We know that there's so much activity, but only about 8% of all sales are actually online. So 92% of everything that's going on in commerce is still offline. So there's this huge influence of online on the offline world, but we just don't get it. So we come up with ROPO, research online, purchase offline studies, and we're digging into other metrics that we can use. Yet we still have this problem. We're really not getting that information. We're not closing the loop. Now, we know there's an opportunity. Some of you have seen this slide before. Raise your hands, people who have seen this slide before. Yes, okay, there's a few of you. So we know there's an opportunity. We like to call it social, local, and mobile. This person walking down the street will hopefully see things that are tailored to her needs. She will have willingly shared that with us, and we will give her useful results about things that she likes to see. Sales, restaurant recommendations. So we're combining all these 3 worlds into one. And that is the opportunity, and that's what's driving us. So at Google, in the commerce mission, we're trying to close the loop. And we've started by search. We're very good at search. We have a whole range of products. But we're looking now at how search transforms into offers. We're looking at how the offers piece is influenced by everything that's happening locally. And finally, and this is the big piece, this is where the wallet piece comes in, we're looking at the final transaction. So here's our loop. I don't know if you can see it from far. Some of you will know some of the products on this, others will not. There are a range of products that we're tying together. Does anybody here know about Google Shopper? All right, I'm going to have to demonstrate that afterwards as well. But Shopper, for example, allows you to find offers near you. It's a relatively new product. So the wallet piece is the final transaction. And that is what we're hoping will help us close that loop. So 92% of those sales happening offline, that's what we're trying to understand. Let's go a little bit into the actual wallet vision. Now, who has heard about wallet? Raise your hands. Okay, pretty much everyone. So we're trying to revolutionize the payment space. That said, payments is happening pretty well today. So everybody's pretty happy with their credit cards. You type in your chip, you move on. We have to do something more. Otherwise, this technology will not actually really change anything. So we're looking at payments, but we're looking at the whole aspect of loyalty, We're looking at coupons and vouchers. And in fact, the technology that we have, which is called NFC, Near Field Communication, and there are other technologies out there as well, but this technology allows us to do a lot more. In fact, so much that the sky's the limit. We could even go into identity. We could use it to open up hotel rooms. So it would serve as keys. You can use it to take your airplane. You can take your bus. And the aim is that it becomes something that people use every day. That is the ultimate goal that we're trying to achieve. So payments and contactless payments are just a very, very small chunk. What Google brings into it is this whole know-how of the offers and loyalty space so that we can actually use those as clues that we can track throughout that loop so that when we close it with the final transaction, we can say, yes, that person has actually purchased. First, they tapped on a voucher that they accessed at 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday. Then they may have gone through a whole series of different scenarios before they actually decided to purchase that. Obviously, there is a lot of data involved, and there is a whole aspect of privacy that we're very careful about. On the payments piece, we're actually not accessing anything very relevant. Where we start accessing interesting information is on the loyalty and the vouchers piece. The payments piece happens separately with the likes of Visa, MasterCard, just like it did today. And some of you in the audience may not realize it, but if you have a Barclays card, who here is a Barclays client? So I've asked this to several people. If you take out your cards, you might see that they're contactless enabled. Has anybody tried the contactless enabled at Pret or something like that? Yes. So the UK is actually a really sophisticated market for this stuff, much more so than in other markets. So contactless terminals are rolling out. You'll have them at Pret, you'll have them at Subway, and so forth. So it's really happening. Did you see that? Wallet transforming into the mobile phone? Clever, clever. Sorry. So what we have here is a very simple process by which users will not only pay more quickly, they'll also save because coupons and vouchers will be found immediately for them. They'll just have to tap that phone and they'll say, oh, look, this is so-and-so with loyalty card such and such, and they've got 3 vouchers, and this one's the most relevant to this actual purchase. So they'll search, they'll pay, and they'll save. And hopefully this will also be much safer because it is being tracked. Every transaction has a one-time password. We can deactivate wallets. We can reactivate them. So inherently, it's a very safe process. I'm going to show you a little video. Hopefully that's going to bring it all together. Some of you have seen it. You can go ahead.
But it's so innovative, it's wonderful. Less things to carry. You don't have to worry about your credit cards and pull them out. Everything's right there. Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
OMG! Thank you, Google Wallet.
So I'm sure we would do this same video in the UK when we launch, and we might not have quite the same reactions as in America. But anyway, they're all very enthusiastic. So did you guys get this? Because I have actually had partners that said, we don't understand. Is it clear for everyone? All right, so we're really trying to bring it all together here, right? You'd be surprised. It was a very sophisticated partner. I was wondering, I was thinking, do they really don't get it? I was getting very worried. Because I thought, you know, baby, we're doing all the kitschy stuff that kind of makes it emotional, you know. All right, so what have we done so far? We did actually manage to launch this. It took us a while, but we got there. We launched this in the US last September. And what we actually did was we created a patent out of this single tap experience that brings in the payment, the loyalty, and the vouchers and coupons. The reality is it won't look quite the same for the rest of the world. Basically, because the rest of the world, apart from America, is on an EMV payment system. And what that means is you've got a chip and a PIN linked to your credit cards, inherently very safe. And that does mean that this single tap may be a double tap in the UK when this launches. We do have a go for a UK launch, and we're very excited about that. The thing is, it's a challenging ecosystem. So if you look at the partners that we launched with in the US, we actually went out and we worked with Citibank, we worked with MasterCard, and we have first data on some of the background transactions. But on a mobile ecosystem, the mobile network operator supporting this was Sprint. And that's been quite challenging for us because you may have heard of many other people coming up with wallets as well. And for example, the mobile network operators see this as a very interesting space in which they can maybe build up client adoption. So what we've been doing, when we launched with about 20 different retailers, Macy's, Walgreens, and so forth. That was very successful. But it's been successful for the people who actually have the right partners to be able to enable the wallet. And so our work at Google has been to grow that ecosystem. So since launching, we signed up Visa. We signed up Discover. We signed up many, many more retailers. We're talking about much wider distribution. If we want to make this work, we have to have a big ecosystem. Everybody needs to be supporting this. And so when we look at the UK, we're thinking about new solutions, in fact, to add on that will grow that adoption. So that, for example, we can have all the banks and all the credit card types enabled when this actually comes through. And we have to see that we can do that with the likes of you in the audience, people who are thinking about changing their point of sale technologies, people who are thinking about implementing contactless. And contactless is one way, but there's a bigger ecosystem out there. There's a whole payments ecosystem. So you may have seen that checkout, does anybody know Google Checkout? Does that ring a bell? So checkout has been rebranded Google Wallet. And it's all coming into, it's all converging. So that you, wherever you are, whether you're at home or on the bus or at the point of sale, you can do exactly what you've seen here. You can pay, but you can also get more value from that loyalty from those vouchers. So this is the broad message. We have a go for the UK. It took us quite a while, actually. So some of you that I spoke with a couple of months ago, it did take a little bit longer than planned. We don't know when the launch will be. We don't know when the launch will be, but obviously we're going to be ambitious about it, where we're hoping potentially end of year. It really depends when the partners are ready. So I'd see maybe possibly early next year. And for those of you that might be interested in looking into this space, I'll be happy to speak with you in more detail. And I think we'll leave the last video because it's essentially the same thing. It's the reactions. So no worries, guys. You don't want to see the American reactions again, unless you want to see me hopping around going, wah! But I don't think you do. All right, questions?
Available on only certain mobile providers? Mobile phones.
Yeah, so in this instance, it's true that the phone has to be NFC enabled, right? And what we're looking at now is how we can grow that. So that's for point of sale transactions, right? If we talk about this whole online mobile wallet, well, online wallet, it's slightly different. We are looking at all sorts of other possibilities just to grow that pie, right? So more and more of the OEM manufacturers are thinking about NFC in their phones. At the same time, we will probably be coming out with a sticker solution. So it's essentially, you take your credit card, stick it to the back of the phone, and as long as it's contactless enabled, it should work. Yeah.
everybody else who provides this today. And where you might be different is actually the fact that you can tie the data together to your online transactions, everything else, which would be a severe breach of privacy. So I can't quite understand what your real selling point is with regard to privacy concerns.
Yes, well, it always elicits some interesting questions. So the big difference is we're not taking a cut of the transaction. And you'll see a lot of other wallets out there that do that. So for example, mobile network operators have seen this as a source of revenue from the actual transaction piece. And we're not interested in that piece. We're interested in the information. But that said, of course, there is a privacy issue. That means there's only so much information you can tap on. And the whole transaction piece, the actual, that will not be accessible. The things that will be accessible are anonymized pieces of data about, for example, a loyalty card number and how that loyalty card number has progressed throughout that chain, if they've been willing to share that information with us. It's for us to make it useful, though, because a user that opts in is because this is a user that sees it as valuable when they walk down the street and they get an offer that's relevant to them. So it's give and take.
So really, the key proposition is the fact that you get these discounts, yeah, for opting in and providing the information to whoever is providing the discount. But again, I can't see the link to the actual adaptation of the technology. I can see that that's a valid second point for somebody who wants to track loyalty and so on. But I can't see why that necessarily made it successful as a payment solution that didn't be any other payment solution.
Well, there's also a matter of speed, actually. In the merchants that we talk with, many of them do want to increase the point of sale. And then some of them are looking for something else. That means every retailer will have a different value proposition that they're trying to achieve. Some of them will need something that happens within a few seconds, not even, at that point of sale. And they're very interested in this. But then there's others that are really trying to create a longer-term loyalty proposition, or some of them are trying to get the customers back in very quickly. So depending on what they want to achieve, we work on those value propositions and we'll actually come up with something. So, of course, there are some wallets out there, but beware. Many of the wallets that are being mentioned are just announcements. So the fact that we have a demonstration, we do have a product out, we're working on it. It is a very complicated ecosystem and many people are very interested in it. But I'd say our value proposition is in bringing that whole other piece of closing the loop. We are essentially one of the only partners that really is interested in that space. Our banking partners are interested in other things, right? But it is essentially an ecosystem where everyone has to work together and everybody will find their value from it. More questions? No? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Flo. I can't help thinking there probably were quite a lot of questions because it is a really fascinating space. I mean, for me, I think Google's always trying to put the user first, and I'm not going to go anywhere without my phone. I'm sure you're the same as me in that respect. So anything that can avoid me having to bulk up another pocket in a slim-fitting jacket by taking away my wallet is a good thing for me.